Are you ready? Are you ready for the Saturday news time? I've been waiting a whole year to do that. I am, of course, Gareth here from What Culture Wrestling. And you know what? It's taken a year. It's taken 12 whole months, but I've finally got the Saturday news to myself. And you know what? I miss Phil Chambers. But none of that matters right now, because what you're here for, what I'm here for, what we're all here for at this moment is to talk about some wrestling news, and my goodness, we got some of that. So first up, we're going to be talking about something that's been very much in the headlines over the last week or so. You've probably seen at this point that this week's episode of Monday Night Raw scored its all-time lowest rating in, well, a few categories. We'll just go through them now. So this TLC Go Home edition of the Red Show, it drew an average of 1.527 million viewers. That was down 12% from last week's 1.737 million. The show also drew a new all-time low in total viewership. It also drew a new all-time low in viewership for each hour, and a new all-time low in the key demographic, which is obviously the 18 to 49 demographic. This was beaten by AEW Dynamite for each of the hours, because they got 0.45 in the 18 to 49 demographic. So it's pretty bad times right now for Monday Night Raw. Pretty desperate times as well, and you get the feeling things may be about to change, like they kind of did 2 years ago. They had that big knee-jerk response where all the McMahons and Triple H came down to the ring. They were like, oh, we got to change things, and you're the authority for a bit, and then we're going to go back to normal. But we've now had an update on this entire situation, because now apparently it's not just the WWE officials and all the higher-ups that are a bit concerned by this massive ratings drop, this all-time low. Also, the USA Network, well, there's no better word for it. They are furious with the situation right now. This is all according to Alex McCarthy of TalkSport. He said, according to a source that they spoke to, the USA Network are furious. They want more adult content. Not sexy adult, but dark and violent adult. So, this is something probably most people here at What Culture and most people around the wrestling world right now have been clamoring for what feels like forever now. Just more mature content. Don't insult our intelligence with this cartoonish, silly stuff that we see for the most part on Monday Night Raw. Obviously, we had that AJ Styles Christmas Carol thing with the ladders and John Morrison with under the spotlight, and it insults your intelligence. It's not good stuff. And it's also being said that the WWE officials, everyone in WWE right now, are going to be treating the Royal Rumble, the 2021 Royal Rumble, as something of a big reset for the company. So whatever this means, we're not too sure at this point. Could this mean the return of a massive megastar? I'm talking about you, CM Punk, which would be a bit of a shame if it happens in the Thunderdome with no actual live crowd there. What a waste. What the irony of having arguably one of the biggest pots, the biggest returns in wrestling history, and it happens in front of, well, screens. Of course, nothing's confirmed as of yet when it comes to the Royal Rumble and what this big shake-up's going to be. But these new reports that are coming out now all come off the back of earlier this week when we had the Wrestling Observer talking about how these low numbers were a massive wake-up call for WWE. He sensed that they got the message. Dave Meltzer said, he said that WWE now are thinking, right, we're gonna have a bit of a reaction now. It's not sitting well with everybody in the company, and some reactionary decisions are set to be made. We're not sure what these are. This could just be the McMahons walking out on Raw again going, you know what, we've messed up again for another 2 years, so you're the new authority. You're the authority 2.0, yeah. But a company that seems to be doing very well, quite the contrast to WWE right now in terms of like viewership and just overall attention in that 18 to 49 demographic, is of course All Elite Wrestling. And now we've got a bit of a behind-the-scenes story, you could say, about the Young Bucks, who obviously are the executive vice presidents, two of the executive vice presidents of AEW. And they spoke to Fightful Select about how many times they turned down WWE before they'd said, yeah, we're going to go down this route and start making our own company. So apparently, before AEW was a thing, they ended up passing up the chance to work in WWE 4 or 5 times overall, which is madness. 4 or 5 different WWE contract offers were put on the table by Triple H and the rest of the gang, and they just kept saying no. But they didn't necessarily have a bad word to say about Triple H. They said he was really charming, he's really good at his job, which for the most part, most people tend to know, because yeah, he's very good at his job. Look at what he's done with NXT and everything else. Regardless of the man you see playing the character and all the rest of it, when it comes to behind-the-scenes stuff, he seems to know what he's doing. Matt Jackson also noted that every time they thought the contract talks were up, they were like, right, we've turned them down again, that's it, they're never going to come back to us. Another one would come back. So it just shows you how how interested WWE were. They really wanted to get the Young Bucks in, and also the now current AEW World Champion Kenny Omega. That all three of those thought at one point, yeah, we're going to end up going to WWE because they just really want us. They're offering us loads of money, creative freedom from the sounds of it, all this stuff. But no, they turned them down, and you know what? It's paying off, isn't it? But speaking of the game, Triple H, we've got some news right now on another new NXT show, because I believe we've mentioned, or it's been mentioned online over the last couple of weeks, that NXT are looking to start up a new NXT India show, which is obviously going to be airing in India and all the rest of it. And now it looks like they're going to be airing, or going to be creating, a new minor leagues show. So apparently, according to Raj Giri of Wrestling Inc., Triple H has been assembling a new team of creative people behind the scenes, and this is being headed by, I think headed's the right word, headed by Gabe Sapolsky. Triple H has apparently given Sapolsky a number of writers and a few agents to help him create a show, a minor league show, because just to make him feel comfortable with writing television. And the situation right now is that Triple H is giving Sapolsky a lot of freedom to go and deliver a kind of what seems like, this is the quote here, an NXT for NXT. So NXT, which was the developmental brand for the main roster, apparently looks to be getting its own developmental brand, which is something I did not see coming. Obviously, this just highlights how big NXT has become in its own right. It's not just the developmental brand anymore, and that's been one of the major criticisms, you could say, over the last 12 months. It doesn't appear that they are building stars there anymore from scratch. It just feels like they're relying on some of the people that have done so well for them in the past, and it's just kind of, it's felt a bit stagnant. You could say that. You could say it's felt a bit stagnant over the last year, but this looks like a way, or a progression in creating something new, adding some more blood into the team, but just doing it also by airing television. It seems like we're creating NXT yet again. It's also been noted that the biggest challenge at this point has been deciding what kind of format they're going to have for the new TV show, because the original idea was apparently to have this show to be just like another promotion. So I'm not sure if that was necessarily in WWE or just be like adjacent to WWE, like something like Evolve or something like that, where it's just its own thing, and then they can just draft people up every now and again. But at this point, it's going to be tough to do something like that, because obviously there's no live events, there's no real, people can't go and watch shows right now to do that. So they've had to think on the feet and go, right, we're going to make this into a little TV series, probably akin to what NXT was when it originally first started bursting onto the scene and getting everyone's attention. And I think that's probably the wise choice. Also, there's no official word with this yet when it is going to premiere, when it is going to arrive on the scene. Apparently the goal, well, the aim was to have it arrive in early 2021, but that's obviously been delayed because of the current global situation, everything else, things just keep on changing. So it's been delayed, it's probably going to get delayed again, but it is apparently coming. It is coming in the future. Okay, our last news story before we move on over to some Twitter questions. This is all to do with the world of SmackDown. Obviously, SmackDown happened last night. Not a whole lot of crazy stuff went down, seeing as though it was the go-home show for TLC. But one of the most eye-catching parts of it, yet again, no surprise here, was Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens' feud that's going on right now. The drama, Roman Reigns just beat the ever-loving crap out of Kevin Owens. At one point, they threw him underneath a table, more tables, broken tables, chairs, ladders. They made like an avalanche on Kevin Owens, and Kevin Owens still got up and he was like, "Is that all you got? I can do this all day," channeling his inner Captain America. But we've now had some updates on who exactly is writing this stuff right now for Roman Reigns, why he's just been one of the most captivating people in all of wrestling. So everyone wants to know who's been writing his material, and apparently his right-hand man, Paul Heyman, his special counsel, has been behind this. He's been writing most of the promos, he's been producing some of the bigger matches that Roman's had, and also WWE Hall of Famer Michael Hayes has had a very hands-on role, let's say, a role behind Roman Reigns' creative process right now on SmackDown. So the two of them have been helping to create this character, this tribal chief, this force of nature on the Blue Show that I enjoy. Phil absolutely enjoys as well. We talk about him every single week on the SmackDown review. He's just been reborn as a performer, as a wrestler, everything. He just seems to be, it's the second coming of Roman Reigns. We love it. It's also really interesting to note that Michael Hayes has been personally producing a lot of Roman Reigns' big pay-per-view matches, which in my opinion have been some of the best ones that we've seen this year, just across all of WWE. I love my drama, love me a little bit of drama, and there's been tons of it. You could just chew it, you can scoff all that drama into your mouth every time you watch a Roman Reigns match. It is the good stuff. Alright, now let's move on to some Twitter questions. I don't really do this on my own often, so it looks like I'm just going to be the person answering the questions. Sorry if you wanted Phil to do it, he'll just have to go and do it on Twitter. So, first one we're going to talk about today, we've got at Marcus Solid, who, again, has put a lovely picture of his dog in this tweet, so you can't say no. You've got to answer the question. And his question is, what's up, What Culture? If you guys could have a match where a double turn takes place, what wrestlers would you have in it? For WWE, I'd pick John Morrison versus Ricochet. That's a very, very, very interesting match. I think I'd definitely like to see that one go down, to be fair. I want to see heel Ricochet. I just think it'd be really fun. In my opinion, I'd... keeping it current, because obviously we've got TLC on Sunday, why not choose one of the matches on there? I think the Drew McIntyre-AJ Styles match would just be a massive swerve if AJ suddenly became babyface AJ. AJ can do them both brilliantly. He can be heel and a babyface. We love him either way. And then have McIntyre turn on everyone. He's been the ultimate babyface over the last, year or so. I think, yeah, having him just suddenly turn and be like, right, I'm the WWE champion. I'm just going to just hit everyone in the face with my championship and boot Sheamus and then turn Sheamus into a face. Oh, it just books itself. And our second and what looks like our last Twitter question of the day is from @KOW1977. It says, morning fellas. Fella, it's just me. And Captain Salty, he also said morning too. Captain Salty isn't here as well, but we salute you, Captain Salty. Hope you're having a good day wherever you are. And the question is, with AEW improving their women's division, which 5 women would you love to see in AEW to push in the right direction? This one is tough because there's some very, very talented women on that roster. I just don't feel like they are getting the attention they deserve at this point. We had a tag match, I believe, on Dynamite with, I think it was Big Swole teaming with Serena Deeb, taking on Ivelisse and Diamante, and that did a job. Very good match in itself, but yeah, we need some more spotlight. So in my opinion, some of these are already getting a bit of spotlight, but they could just use more. Like Thunder Rosa was on AEW Dynamite this week. She cut a really good promo, and then Britt Baker just washed all of the paint off her face. I'd like to see more Thunder Rosa because I just think she's an absolute badass. So more of her. I really like Red Velvet, so give her a bit more screen time. Layla Hirsch is just an absolute legit, just bully in the ring when she gets going. She's just a little powerhouse, and yeah, more of her. Jade Cargill, I think she's... AEW don't have anything like her on that roster right now, so obviously if she can get up to scratch working-wise in the ring, I think she'd just be something completely different to see right now in that division. And then as a rising star, somebody who's evolved, I'd say, over the last year, Anna Jay. There's been a lot of talk of her, just how much she's improved, her role within the Dark Order as well. I'd like to see more of Anna Jay going forward, so I believe they're 5. That's my 5 women that I'd like to see more of a spotlight on going forward. So that has been your last Saturday news from myself for 2020. So thank you for the ride. It's been a hell of a year. You guys have been amazing. I've loved all the tweets that we've had all year, just from everyone saying they love the news and all the SmackDown stuff. We love bringing it to you. It's one of my highlights of the week. But in the meantime, do not forget to go on Twitter and follow everyone here at What Culture at WhatCultureWWE. Follow myself at GMorgan04. Go on whatculture.com, find all the articles, read them all, because there's some great things there that we need you to see. I have been Gareth from What Culture WWE. Thank you for, well, my first year in this company. You've made it so fun. I've loved every single second of it. But the most important thing right now for the rest of this year, enjoy your Christmas. You deserve it, because it's been mad, hasn't it? It's been a mad old year. And have an incredible happy new year. And here's to 2021. See you later.